Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the vibrational state which you might find inside of meditation. So somebody just sent me this comment. Blessings. I'm trying to figure out the explanation for the shaking like an earthquake and the loud banging sounds are for. I have been doing Kriya years now, and about 5 months ago it started every time I meditate. I would appreciate any guidance. And this coincides with a question from one of my students. He said, I get into this very quiet state and I feel my whole body vibrating. What is that? Nobody has been able to tell me what this is. So let's get into it. The yogis are not the only ones to find this state of vibration. In fact, the out-of-body experiencers, those who are going for out-of-body experience, find this very often, that they will drop into this very quiet state and everything will feel as if it is vibrating. And they very aptly call it the vibrational state. Isn't that amazing? For the yogis, they have found this for a very hundreds, thousands of years. They've been finding this state and they call it the Om vibration. Some people think that the vibration of Om is only a sound, but it's not. It actually has 3 parts. So there's the light of the spiritual eye, there's the sound of the Om vibration, and there is this vibrational state that the yogis found so very long ago. Now this can be very subtle. It can be very pleasurable. Like the student of mine that commented, he's been feeling this state for years now. He drops very deep into a meditation. How do we do that? HRV resonance, Om Japa in the chakras, sitting very still, noticing the 4 proofs, and boom, we go right down into this very low idle state. And it puts us sometimes in touch with this kind of phenomena, where we begin to feel that vibration in the entire body. It can also be a lot to you. It can be very big and in your face. And I have a story. One of my friends, he called me up from Canada and he says, I have to tell you a story. My entire spiritual adventure began when I was very young. I was in a Brahmin family and we had alternate nostril breathing, and I did it a little bit when I was very young, but I didn't take it very seriously until I moved to Canada, started my own company, until one day he's standing in his kitchen, he's cutting cabbage, and all of a sudden his entire body hits this vibrational state. And he doesn't know what it is. It's quite strange and new. And so he decides, I'm going to stop this. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to try and stop this. So he clamps down. And as he clamps down, the vibration, the spring pushed down will push back twice as hard, right? So he clamps down and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And he thought, if I keep clamping down, because it keeps trying to clamp down harder, if I keep clamping down, I am going to explode. And so he just sits down right there in the kitchen on the floor, lays down and just lets go. I surrender, I let go, I surrender, I let go. He lays down and the vibration washes through him for maybe an hour, and then finally it goes and he comes back to normal. He gets up, he goes, oh my God, everything they told me when I was a kid is real. And then he goes to India and he finds himself a guru to teach him Ketchery. And so he's my Ketchery yogi friend. So would you like to see that vibrational state right now? Because we can see it right now. We can begin to see it right this moment. Are you ready? Put out your hand. look very, very closely at your hand. It's not actually staying still. You think that it is staying still. Why do you think that? You think that your hand is steady. I'm going to keep it steady. And actually, the harder that you clamp down and attempt to make it steady, the harder it vibrates. Your hand is vibrating right now, and you can see it. In order to maintain a steady posture, the muscles have to be in harmony. They have to be in homeostasis. That means a balance of forces. And we think that that balance is perfect and straight, and it's not. It's very much like the pilot that flies from California to Hawaii. And we think he's flying in a straight line, and he's not. He's actually constantly course correcting. He's going in a very slight zigzag all the way across to Hawaii. It's the same for a ship, on the ocean, in the air. We think, when we think about, well, I'm going to go from Los Angeles to Portland, and we say in our minds, well, it's a straight shot. But of course it's not, because we are simplifying, we are generalizing, and we're deleting a massive amount of that trip from our minds, and we just say, well, it's a straight shot, right? But it's not. It's a constant wind all the way there. And it's the same thing with your hand. You believe you're holding it still, but if you look closely, very closely, you can see that it's vibrating all of the time. Your whole body is in this state of flux all the time, and you are deleting it. So what are we doing in meditation? We're becoming sensitive. Be here now. What does that do to you? It's so simple, right? That's it. I'm just here. What does that do? It integrates you with some of that subconscious information which you have been dumping from your mind. And that helps you, right? That helps me get through my day. So as we enter into the low idle state, we slow down the body. That slowing down reflects back on the mind. The mind as well begins to slow down. And as it does, we begin to integrate with the slower brainwaves. That's the alpha, the theta, and the delta. It happens automatically because of the low idle state. It has to. As the body slows down, the mind must follow and slow down as well. It's beautiful. This is yoga. Yoga says, I can't grab my mind and force it to do the things that I want to do. But man, look at this body. It's this huge handle, and I will use it to turn the mind in the correct direction. And so now we're doing that. We're going into the low idle state, into the slower brain waves. And so some of that information, a lot of that information, which you have been deleting and distorting and generalizing in your life, suddenly becomes available. And Lahir Mashaya, he talks about this. He says your heart is going to open. The heart knot is going to open. And you will feel the things which you have not been feeling. So whenever you have an energetic sensation through the body, whenever you feel something pass through you, when you feel other people's energy, when you hear and feel other people's thoughts, whenever that happens, it's because this heart knot has been opened. You are sensing things which you did not sense before. And one of those things is this very natural vibrational state which is in the body all of the time. The Om vibration, the shaking of every atom in the universe is part of you all the time. And you can feel it in the homeostasis of the body itself. You can see it reflected there. This is the Kundalini shaking. So what you are experiencing, many yogis have felt for a long time, and it's often referred to as the Kundalini shaking. It's also the Om vibration. It's the out-of-body experience vibrational state. All of these things are the same. And I'm explaining to you what it actually is. You're merging with your slower brainwaves, and this vibration, which is always there, becomes available to your awareness. It's actually a huge gift to you. Because if you can feel that your body is doing this, then we're losing a certain belief. See, we believed that we were this rock, we were this thing, we were this object of the body and the life and the story that we have lived. And it's not quite true, is it? And that vibrational state is telling you it's not as solid as you thought it was. And so the things I thought I knew become the things that, well, I didn't really know that, did I? It was false. It was a lie. I was living in a lie and I didn't know it. I was living in a false idea and I didn't know it. I was living in the ivory tower thinking that my little box was a solid box. And it's not quite so solid as I thought it was. And so you start to hold all of these things a lot more lightly. We don't have this death grip on the story of our lives anymore. We don't have this death grip on what I have to have and what I have to want and what I have to do. You kind of loosen and you hold them all a little more lightly. And that is a gift from this vibrational state. This kind of thing that happens in meditation, you go, I can hold all of these things a little more lightly. But you might not say that when it first shows up. You might go, what? What is this? And it starts eating away at this old idea, and that's uncomfortable. You might feel fear because of that. You might go, oh my God, it's eating away in what I thought I knew, and I'm not sure if I'm ready to let go of that. And that's why the yogis use Navi. Navi Kriya helps us to throw out that fear from our meditations so that when these things begin to happen, we can accept them more easily and roll with it. Now here's a gift. Lahir Mashaya said, the Samadhi of Om is the easiest Samadhi to get into. Now why did he say that? It's part of, possibly for you, it could be the sound, it could be the light. You feel the light everywhere. It could be the sound. You hear the sound everywhere. It could be this feeling of vibration. You feel it everywhere. And it spreads out. So you feel it in your body, and then you spread out into the air around you, and you begin to understand, I thought I was this, but I'm actually this. And it's that absorption which allows the Samadhi. You're expanding, which allows the Samadhi. And so he's telling you, this bigness is the easiest way to get into a Samadhi. And so having that vibration is a gigantic gift in your meditation. But what if it's really bothering me? It's really vibrating and it's quite often and it's disrupting my life. Then what do I do then? Well, make the subconscious your friend. Be nice to your subconscious. Be kind to your subconscious. And build a relationship with your subconscious. In the third training, I have the inner child therapy, right? It's built into the hallway, right? And that is teaching you a wonderful way to get in touch with your subconscious and be friendly and kind to your subconscious. Find out what it needs, how it feels about your life, and what you can do. Sometimes we just need to explain, well, this happened, and so that happened. Do you understand now? Sometimes we just need to sit with them and say, this was not your fault. You went through it. Hallelujah. You're alive. You made it through. Oh my God. And it's not your fault. And the subconscious lets go, right? We need to heal and forgive. And that process of getting to know yourself and being friends with yourself is extremely powerful for meditation and your entire life. And it's extremely powerful when you're trying to ask the subconscious to tamp something down. It's a little too much. Would you please slow this down? I kind of like it. I would like to investigate this in meditation and feel myself vibrating into the air around me. But during my day, if you could kind of, put it down a bit. It's a bit too much. And talk that way every single night to your subconscious before you go to sleep. Now, why then? Because that's when you're really going to be in touch with your subconscious, right before you sleep. When you're a little bit drowsy, you're in that alpha state. And that's when you talk to your subconscious very kindly, but as a kind of parent, as an authority, would you please go ahead and slow that down a little bit, tamp it down just a little bit. It's a little bit too much in my daily life. A little bit is okay, but a lot is too much. Would you please help me with that? Go ahead and do that now. And that's how you talk to your subconscious. Like a parent, but a loving parent. Because if you yell at your kid all the time, they're not going to listen to you, right? Same thing with your subconscious. You got to be nice. You got to be kind. You have to have a little bit of a handshake and a friendship. And it will carry you through all of your life. It's amazing. And again, if you're having really big, powerful Kundalini reactions in your body, and it's just too much, remember exactly what my friend did. Lay down on the ground. I let go. I surrender. I let go. I surrender. Just let go. Let it pass through you. Ground yourself. That grounding reassimilates you. It reorients you towards the body. You have to have some of that. You have to have heaven and earth. If you don't balance them, you're not balanced. Nothing's going to work in your life. You've got to have that balance. So please remember to ground and really use the 3 insurance policies of Kriya Yoga. What are they? Mahamudra, Navi Kriya, Om Japa in the chakras. Do a little bit of that every single day. Maybe don't do other meditations if they're going to stimulate more of your problem. If you're using one of those insurances and you seem to have a bit of a problem with it, maybe I'm doing the Om Japa in the chakras and I'm not quite ready for it today and it's causing more problem. Well, stop and just do Navi and just do Mahamudra. And ground, ground, ground. Surrender, let go, surrender, let go, and that will help you to pass through any difficult stage of the Kundalini. Those who use the 3 insurance policies every single day, they avoid this kind of problem, and they stay balanced through their Kriya journey. That's the idea of having those in your meditation program. I have a student who had a wonderful problem. He was getting so much bliss that he couldn't handle it. It was overwhelming, and he had to go to work. He had his own company to run. And he goes, what do I do? And I gave him a few suggestions, which were all grounding suggestions. He tried those out, and then he modified it to fit for him. And he said, the very best thing that I have found to stop these overwhelming waves of bliss from disrupting my entire life is I just put my mind on my full body at once. That is, he re-identifies with the body. He creates a connection to the earth through his body. And he just holds that. And it would reorient him towards the earth. He already has the heaven flowing down. And now he needs the earth, right? Because the balance was not perfect. And so he establishes that balance. No more problem. Isn't that a wonderful problem to have? So that's the vibrational state. Extremely normal as can be. You can see it in your own hand. Watch the tiny little vibrations. That's the vibrational state. Every atom in your body is full of space, and all of those protons, neutrons, electrons are spinning around, vibrating. Your whole body is vibrating. And in deep meditation, as we slow down, we can become aware of that which we have been deleting this entire time. Doesn't that blow your mind? So I hope you loved this. If you did, be sure to hit that bell down below so I can see all of you next time.